No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
The first Noel, the angels did say, was a certain poor shepherd in fields where they lay, in fields where they lay, keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. They looked up and saw a star shining in the east beyond them far, and to the earth it gave great light, and so it continued both day and night. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel.
Riley Capel, let's all stand for our opening song. Here we go. Everybody ready? Rise up this morning. Rise up and sing. your turn. Let's hear it.
Rise up this morning. Rise up and sing. Love is alive in my heart, in my life, everywhere in the world, every face in this place. Love is alive.
Good job, you guys.
Good morning, everyone. Hey, welcome to Unity Renaissance. Great to see you all here. Great to see those of you watching online today. You are with us in spirit. I hope everybody had as great a Thanksgiving as I did. My family is here sitting down on the front row today. I'm just filled up to overflowing with love and joy and gratitude. So I hope you are as well. And I'm going to send a special shout out to Denise Beckwith. Doesn't the sanctuary look absolutely gorgeous today? Denise and Floyd got us going. We're in the Christmas spirit. Huge and very special thanks to my amazing daughter-in-law, Riley Koppel, who sang that opening song today, and also, stand up, Riley. Appreciating her. Not only is she a gifted, very talented singer, but she's the mother of my precious granddaughter, so that's the important thing. Anyway, such a happy, happy season. Well, unity is a positive path for spiritual living. We follow the teachings and the example of our way shower, Jesus, in seeking to more fully love ourselves, love God, and love one another. And from that beautiful consciousness of love here in unity, we honor all paths to God, all names for God, and all expressions of God. And should you ever forget, and you online as well, each and every one of you is an expression of God. And we know that when we really take that in, when we appreciate that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, when we tune into that inner light within us and we behold that divine light in one another, it just shines out ever more brightly to light up the world. Our vision at Unity Renaissance is, together, a spiritually awakened world living in peace, love, and joy. And we are manifesting that vision through our mission, which is, together, we transform lives that transform the world. Let's begin. Thank you, Rima. Thank you. She means it. Let's begin our time of transformation this morning in prayer. I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Take a deep breath in, release, and let go. Feeling already on this first day of December, this quickening within us, this energy, spirit of the Christmas season. Already we begin to feel that lovely sense of anticipation for the heartwarming times we'll share with friends and family, for the opportunity to settle into what is most important in our lives and to feel our love and connection, not only with those we know, but people we don't know. And so we bless this time together as we step into the Advent season. Our hearts and minds are wide open to really feel that Christmas spirit like we never have before. And for all of these blessings, for this glorious time together and all that flows from it, we are grateful. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. A couple of quick comments before we move into our next song. First of all, I do want to say for those of you watching online, we've encountered some bugs with our closed captioning, so we'll let you know when that's functioning properly. Wasn't translating the words appropriately, let me just say that, and leave it at that. So we're on that. We're going to get that fixed. So just sit back and enjoy listening to the audio today.
We apologize to all the Guinness lovers out there.
So, private joke, don't ask. So, I want to take just a moment to introduce our guest speaker today. In so many ways, needs no introduction because we all know Christopher Naughton so well. We're so blessed by him and his wonderful energy and wisdom. But I'll tell you a little bit about him in case you don't know any of his background. So he's been a member of Unity Renaissance for more than 20 years. His professional background is in law, television, and radio broadcasting. And he has the unique distinction of having studied broadcast journalism at Pat Robertson's Regent University Graduate School while simultaneously exploring the works of American mystic Edgar Cayce. I don't think you can get any more diverse than that. That's very inspiring. Christopher is also a six-time Emmy Award winner for his TV program American Law Journal, which has been accepted by PBS for possible future sponsorship as well. Am I correct? Maybe that. Christopher is passionate about history, law, social justice, New Thought, and Unity Renaissance. He served on our board of trustees multiple times, a few rounds as our board president. And he was the driving force behind our move into live streaming. I know all of you watching online are applauding right now. You have Christopher to thank for holding the vision for that. And he also is very much holding the vision, very passionate about our continued growth and service through the wonderful ministry of Unity Renaissance. So please join me in appreciating Christopher Naughton. Today is it's time for Vivian to leave. Bye, darling. Bye. I feel it too. She did pretty good there for a while, though, didn't she? Yeah, it's all right. Okay. Today is the first Sunday in Advent. For those of you who've always wondered what Advent is, it's a sort of a more common to traditional Christianity. And it's this period of time, it's called a time of expectant waiting. So the word Advent simply translates into coming. And so these are the weeks in advance of what was considered the birth of Jesus. And so it's a time of great anticipation. And we consider this the Advent season, and every Sunday in the Advent season, we light another candle in the Advent wreath. And so today, being the first Sunday in Advent, we are celebrating faith, and it is my joy to introduce Nick and Alicia Flores, who will light our Advent candle today for faith.
I practice seeing beyond circumstances and behold the Christ light in myself and everyone I know.
I place my faith in the truth until it fills my consciousness and becomes my life.
So now we can stand and sing our Advent welcoming song. This is how we want to show up in Advent season right now. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and wait, 2, 3. Show up. Ooh, that's your part. Show up. Ooh, I want to show up.
Hold the door open for everyone. Fill the room below to above. I want to show up as love. I want to show up as peace. See no brother as the up as joy.
All right, now from that joyful place within you, I invite you to join me in our divinity salute as we turn to greet our neighbor with a bow, a handshake, or a hug. Together, the divine in me greets the divine in you, and we serve and celebrate together for the glory of God.
Show up. Ooh, show up.
Here's faith.
I want to show up as faith. What I believe is what I create. Expect the best and hold that stays. I want to show up as faith. Show up
As love.
as love. Show up as peace. Show up as joy. Show up as faith. Show up.
Thank you, music team. We absolutely love you. That's all there is to it. Good morning. My name is Star Janecki, and it's a pleasure to be your platform host today and welcome each and every one of you, and particularly Paula's family. We're glad that you can join us, and you'll be able to see exactly what we do and how we do it and why it's so great here. It is. It is. Okay. Our words for today are hope and faith. It's first Sunday in December already, and Christmas will be here very, very soon. Probably feel like next week. So, will you please join with me as we read our affirmation? The Christ awareness is born in me. Hope is the window through which I glimpse the good that is yet to come in my life. Feelings of hopefulness kindle my zeal, imagination, love, and perhaps most important, my faith. As my hope matures into faith, I begin to realize that the good that I am hoping for is already mine. The journey to Christmas is our shared human story of realizing our indwelling Christ presence. This journey begins in hope and faith. As I start growing in spiritual awareness, I begin to feel more and more hopeful. I learn that Christ, the image and likeness of God, is my spiritual nature. My hope for the future becomes my faith in the presence as I celebrate Christ awareness alive in me and expressing as me. And our reading today is based on Hebrew chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. After the service, we have prayer chaplains available to pray with you over your challenges, opportunities, and celebrations. And they can be found inside the chapel. And all you need to do is to go in, and you will be greeted by our prayer chaplain. I'm going to ask ours today to stand, Lisa and Dawn, and you can recognize them by their shawls. And now, will everyone please stand for the Lord's Prayer?
Our Father, us this day our daily bread, and forgive us all our debts, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. You see.
My dearest child, let the world go for a while. It will spin and make its way gently while you're sleeping. Unseen guides bless your life. Set aside the how and why. Restore your soul and rest assured safely in their keeping. Sacred Mother, full of grace, surrender to her dark embrace. For deep inside our winter's night is birth the coming of the light. Receive this kindness as a prayer. You will find such comfort there. The love divine, her grand design, will breathe us into being. Sacred Mother, full of grace, surrender to her dark embrace.
put it over here. Right here is fine. There we go. There you go. Thank you so much, Riley. That was so beautiful. So, so wonderful. And again, thank you to the music team that always makes this a blessed place to be every single Sunday. The story of Christmas. The story of Christmas is the story of the evolution of humankind. The story of Christmas is the story of the evolution of humankind. Or, perhaps put in different words, Santa, Jesus, and a bunch of pagans walk into a bar. Now, these may not have been the exact words, but were the sentiments that I share with my mother when I visited her for Christmas several years ago. And we talked about the universality of Christmas and some of the symbols. At the time, she was in her late 80s, a conservative, dyed-in-the-wool Catholic. She did not appreciate my candor. Now, over the years, I have used my mother and my family as foils of sorts in my talks here at Unity because religiously and politically, we couldn't be much different. But I love them dearly. Anybody can relate? Anybody at all? So, and in fairness, I should tell you that my mom did pass away last year at the age of 90. But don't worry, she's still here. Mary hasn't gone anywhere. I will see her in my dreams. She'll talk to me there. I'll catch her out of the corner of my eyes. And occasionally I think I can hear the words she said to me all my life. Don't get smart. So one Christmas I'm up in Jersey and I'm with my family and it's late. I've traveled from Virginia Beach. It's time to go to sleep and my mom starts in. Did you hear about the atheists in California? Santa Monica, they're taking down the fir trees. They're taking down the nativity scenes. I'm telling you, there's a war on Christmas. And so, yeah, it's late, but I'm thinking, wow, politics, law, and religion all in one sentence? Maybe I'm not so tired. So I said, Mom, first off, if you think there's a war on Christmas, then walk a mile in Hanukkah shoes. But beyond this, really what this is about is a war of words. It's a war of symbols. It's a war of who owns Christmas. It's a war of, is this exclusively a Christian holiday? And she said, no, it is a Christian holiday. It's called the Christ Mass. The Christmas tree is a Christian symbol. It's a Christian holiday. I said, okay. Well, let's see if I have this straight. So Jesus is born in a simple manger on a snowy hillside in Bethlehem, and Mary and Joseph and the baby are in that manger with the animals. And in the corner of that stable, there's a Christmas tree all decked out with bunting. And there's a Yule log burning in the corner. And there's a big fat jolly guy saying, ho, 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 baby Jesus. And three wise men singing a partridge in a pear tree. And that's when she says those inimitable words to me, don't get smart. So I said, Mom, you know, Christmas is a rather complex issue. I said, there are some other stories. Would you be interested in hearing maybe another version? She said, sure, but my mind's already made up. So I told her this story. It is cold and it is gray and it is dark here in ancient times, all across the northern hemisphere. The ground is hard, the water is frozen, nature is asleep. But something is stirring. The Roman, the Mesopotamian, the Celtic, the Druid, the Norseman look up into the nighttime sky and see the brilliance of the stars as they stand beside a warm fire. Light within, light without, light above, and light below. A spark of hope, even in the darkest of times. Now, many of us have come to the Christmas story being raised in a Judeo-Christian household or maybe an agnostic household. And many of us did not have a Charles Fillmore metaphysical Bible on our coffee table as we were growing up. But my guess is, if you're sitting here at Unity today, your story of Christmas has evolved. Now, when we were raised, we learned in Matthew that Jesus was born at the time of Herod. That would put it at around 4 BC. And yet, if you go to the book of Luke, you see he was born at the time of Caesar Augustus, at the time of the census. That's about 6 AD. So even early on, we kind of get the sense that even Scripture is giving you multiple choice. So where then did all of this winter stuff come from? I mean, if Jesus was born at the time of the census, and it was springtime, and people such as Edgar Cayce said that Jesus was the avatar of the Piscean age, and he was born in the time of Pisces, where do we get this winter stuff from? Where does all of that come from? Well, the pagan religions at the times of Christmas and Easter had very big festivals. Christian religion comes along, has very big festivals at Christmas and Easter. Jesus was born on one and died on the other. You see, because long before Jesus ever walked this earth, something was happening within the soul of humankind at this time of year, in these darkest of days, when winter, when the ground and the weather was at its cruelest. And irrespective of whether these tribes or cultures ever intersected, they had similar experiences. It was the time of the winter solstice, again, the shortest days of the year. And at the time of winter solstice, even as nature was as harsh as it was, people took in the opportunity to celebrate the light. Now, the solstice means the sun standing still or pausing, resting, before it restarts its northward journey and the days get longer again, and we're welcoming springtime and more sunshine. But at this time, all around the world, in the northern hemisphere, where most of civilization was at the time, there was celebrations for the triumph of light and optimism, even when life is at its lowest ebb. And it kind of gives credence to what I think is a great man in history, Carl Jung, of course, a student of Sigmund Freud. But whereas Sigmund Freud was rather analytical, if you will, in his approach to psychology, Carl Jung also had a spiritual aspect to his psychological approach. And what he said was that humanity is connected on a very deep level. It's called the collective unconscious. So in various tribes and cultures around the planet, unbeknownst one to the other, there are similar archetypes, there are similar symbols, there are themes that are common to humanity without ever intersecting one with the other. Carl Jung's collective unconscious bespeaks of the oneness of humanity. So, what did we have? In Scandinavia, the Norse would burn the Yule log at this time of year. Why? Yule was a Norse god, and they would celebrate around the Yule log, and they would bring family together, and they would join in probably eating and celebrating. At this time also, in Rome, Saturnalia. This is the time that the god Saturn ruled at this time of year. And Saturnalia, if you know your history, is when the Romans engaged in bawdy behavior, overeating, overdrinking. My, some things haven't changed over 1,000 or 2 years, huh? But here's what's interesting about Saturnalia. At this time, people would change roles. So masters would become the servants, and the servants would become the masters. Slaves and masters would switch roles for several days. There were these great plays of empathy that you can understand, even for a few days, what the other's experience is like. I'm sure the masters were very happy once the New Year's came along. They could go back to their own respective role. Now, in what is today Great Britain, but at the time the Celts and the Druid priests inhabited those areas, they engaged in the winter solstice as well. So when Rome invaded this part of Britain, they co-opted and took some of the symbols of their winter solstice. So the mistletoe and the ivy and the holly and the Yule log, they're all pagan symbols. Kris Kringle was the god of the woods, according to the Druids, and his story was adopted by the Germanic culture. And in order to honor the god of the woods, what do? They brought the fir trees into their homes, hoping that Kris Kringle would come and put presents beneath their tree. And so all of us here in English-speaking America have heard of the term O Tannenbaum because in most instances the Christmas tree is attributed to that culture and bringing it worldwide. But the Christmas tree is more than that. It actually goes back to an even ancient ritual, more ancient ritual, and that would be from the book of Genesis, the tree of life. The tree of life is in that very first book in the Bible. And it's all about, or it actually is there at the time that Adam and Eve are being expelled from Eden. And in Rome, at the time of Saturnalia, they would reenact these plays. Now, again, it doesn't end too well for Adam and Eve, but they did take the tree of life and they decked it up with fruit. Where do the lights on our tree come from? Well, the story goes that Martin Luther, the great reformer from the 15th and 16th centuries, was looking through the branches of a fir tree one evening at Christmastide, and appreciating the brilliance of the light, he decided to put candles on the tree. And today, of course, we put lights on our Christmas trees. The story of Christmas is the story of the evolution of humankind. The Christmas tree, hailing the light in the darkest of times and staying green even throughout the winter. Now, our Christmas ornaments come from the tree of life, the fruit of the tree of life, but if they're gold, they come from Santa Nicholas, St. Nicholas, who was a saint from what is today modern Turkey. And what did St. Nicholas do? He took those gold coins and gifts and put them in the stockings of the poor and the young children so that they wouldn't they would not go without at this time of year. Now, what about this December 25th date, huh? Well, according to this man here, Joseph Campbell, you may remember his book and the television series from the 1990s, 80s, whatever it was. PBS did a series on the power of myth. And Campbell raises the very interesting correspondence between the celebration of Christmas on December 25th and the birth of Mithra. Now, Mithra was the god, the ancient god of sunlight and daylight in Roman times. And in about the 4th century AD, Mithraism is flourishing in Rome. Now, for those students of unity and those students of the Bible, they know that right around 325 AD, a group got together. They were called the Council of Nicaea. That was the first ecumenical council because guess what? There were a lot of little religious sects running around. There were a lot of these alternative gospels running around. It was time to get this thing uniform. Come on, let's button this up. Let's lock this thing down. So what they decided was, Mithraism is flourishing here, and it wasn't unusual for religions to share the same celebratory date. So what they did was, if you can't beat them, just co-opt it. So Mithra was born on December 25th, and Jesus was born on December 25th. Now, just another word or two, that at this time, the Council of Nicaea decided to decide what was going to be in the Bible and what was out of the Bible, what was going to make up the canonical Gospels, and what were some of those heretical Gospels that we needed to throw out. Now, I have it on good word that some of you folks at Unity have been studying some of those heretic Gospels. Gospel of Judas, of Mary, the beloved companion, Philip, Thomas, that kind of thing. Well, let me tell you something. Back in these days, back at that time, these guys knew how to take care of heretics. They invited them all to a big bonfire, and it wasn't for cooking s'mores. So at this time, Jesus and Mithra are both deemed to have been born on December 25th. But more than that, there are dozens, if not hundreds, of myth and savior figures throughout history that share the birth date of December 25th. Hermes, the Buddha, Krishna, Dionysus, Tammuz, Adonis, Isis. I could go on and on. And not only that, but a lot of these figures, these savior figures, shared a lot of the attributes of Jesus' life. They were born of a virgin birth. They created miracles or performed miracles at a young age. They gathered apostles together. They were eventually martyred, died, and buried, and then stayed in a tomb for 3 days and were resurrected. Now, I don't know about you, but growing up as a Christian, when I heard these stories, I got a little nervous. Because, after all, we get nervous and we get fearful that maybe there's something flawed at the very center of our beliefs, that somehow other religions and other mythical symbols may water down our faith. But we can also look at the parallels as a sign of profound roots of an ancient religious ritual. Christmas is not only a major festival for Christianity, it is an ancient mystery. It evokes the enchanting and haunting truth about the nature of things, about the nature of ourselves, about the archetypal nature of our souls. The deeper our understanding and appreciation of Christmas, the more we realize that Christmas is not an exclusive possession of Christianity, but can be enjoyed even at the spiritual level by people of all faiths or no faith at all. Now, of course, here at Unity, we're quite familiar with Mr. Charles Fillmore and Myrtle. And Charles said this one Christmas is about the birth of the Christ consciousness at the center of the human soul. It is the holy place within of a very high attainment. And then later in a 1919 publication, he said, this new birth is a matter of realization in each new soul. Everyone must know for himself this all-encompassing presence. He also said the divine man, which Jesus brought forth, must be born into the consciousness of our higher selves. Now again, we've kind of been blessed here at Unity because we don't always look at everything literally, but we look at it symbolically and metaphysically. What does it mean to the soul of humanity? What does it mean to our individual souls? And speaking of symbols, perhaps the most poignant symbol at this time of year is the creche. It is an emblem full of meaning. So here is a very simple crib made out of wood, made out of straw. It represents the ordinariness of our life. But in that crib, is a child hailed in brilliance, a child bathed in the light of a star, the spark of life that has no limits, greatness birthed in the darkest of hours. Renaissance theologians were so moved by this that they called humanity, not just Jesus, they called human beings, Deus Humanus, the human God. Something to take in at this time of year, because the holiness of this sacred night of Christmas is where these two universes overlap. One temporal and simple, the other mysterious and eternal. To tell the story of Christmas is indeed to tell the story of the evolution of humankind. Carl Jung once again said that the modern person follows many Christmas traditions without giving a thought to their meaning. Meaning that if we are not plugged in to the myths and the archetypes and the symbols of this season, then perhaps we don't know Christmas at all. Thomas More, who wrote the book The Care of the Soul, probably studied Jungian psychology himself, said if you know only one religion, then you know none. If you only appreciate one religion, you are cut off from the real substance from the one that you think you know. At some level, every religion is a world religion. And maybe we can imagine a world Christmas, a holy time, where we're not so focused on doctrine and theology, but instead we are focused on the mystery of life. The real meaning of Christmas is not what we believe, but how deeply we are moved and transformed by the season. Well, that was very interesting, my mother told me. How much of that did you make up? I said, no, Mom, I went ahead and I did the research. She said, yeah, I'm not that impressed. But she said, you know, some of the things about Christmas I wasn't aware of, some of the symbols and the Christmas tree. Now I have a better understanding. And I said, well, Mom, I have a better understanding also of what you felt about what happened there in Santa Monica. Maybe they shouldn't have taken down those Christmas symbols. Maybe they should have added more to the demonstration of Christmas, because Christmas belongs to Christians and Jews and those who celebrate Kwanzaa, atheists, agnostics, heck, even the guys on Seinfeld who just believe in Festivus. This is indeed a holiday that we can all share together. And she said, okay, maybe you're a little smart. No, go get me some eggnog. So where do we begin? Oh yes, Santa, Jesus, and a bunch of pagans walk into a bar. Well, at least if they don't do that, they sit down together at a Christmas dinner. And I'd like to share these words from a song by Dar Williams called The Christians and the Pagans. So the Christians and the pagans sat together at the table, finding faith and common ground, the best that they were able, lighting trees in darkness, learning new ways from the old, and making sense of history and drawing warmth out of the cold. The food was great, the tree plugged in, the meal had gone without a hitch, till Timmy turned to Amber and said, "Is it true that you're a witch?" His mom jumped up and said, "The pies are burning," and she hit the kitchen. And it was Jane who spoke and said, "It's true, your cousin's not a Christian. But we love trees, we love the snow, the friends we have, the world we share, and you find magic from your God, and we find magic everywhere." So the Christians and the pagans sat together at the table, finding faith and common ground, the best that they were able. And where does magic come from? I think magic's in the learning, because now, when Christians sit with pagans, only pumpkin pies are burning. Merry Christmas. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I just have to say one thing. I could not have given this talk in any other church. You know that, right? Because they'd be building the bonfire for me right out back. So let's take a moment to get into the spirit of this season. It is the first Sunday in Advent. Christmas seems to be coming earlier this year. Maybe we're tired of the divisions and the polarization. Maybe we're just ready to feel that unity. So take a deep breath. Let's start there. And let's imagine a light in the center of your head and a light in your heart. The light of the season. In biblical scripture, the word light comes up dozens and dozens of times. We are the light. We are the light of the world. And here, as we feel the light in our minds, in our hearts, we know this is true. And everywhere we go this Christmas season, everyone we meet, the eyes we look into, they too have a light in their hearts, a light in their minds. They too are connected to the great reservoir of consciousness known as humankind. They are our brothers and sisters. So no matter what they believe in politically or spiritually or culturally, they too are part of this world Christmas. And we acknowledge that. And in the silence, let's feel that brotherhood and sisterhood. Let's feel the holiness of this great season. Acknowledging the light within us. The light within and the light without. The light above, the light below. Deus Humanus, the human God. We take this spirit with us as we proceed into the Christmas season, full of love, full of light, full of knowing. And so it is.
Thank you so much, Christopher. That was so enlightening. That one slide that showed all of the people born on the 25th, that was epic. That was amazing. I never heard of it. That's all I could put on the slide. Thank you so much. Well, this is the time in our service for sharing our love offering. I invite you to connect with that wonderful spirit of generosity and love within you as you give in support of this amazing ministry here at Unity Renaissance. And just a reminder, we always invite you, increasingly invite you to consider giving via your smartphone. More and more people are doing that. I'm very, very grateful. It saves us a lot of paperwork, accounting time, all that kind of thing. So thank you for that. And if you would like to give via your smartphone, you can just text the word give to 940-418-1228. And if you give via your smartphone, when the basket comes around, just wave your phone over the top. Give a little extra blessing there. Please join me now in our offertory blessing. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
For the season of every moment, light shines wherever you are. Faith in the darkness, hope in the silence, joy, sweet joy. Show some kindness, we're all a part of
felt good. Let's take a moment to turn to gratitude now, feeling the wonderful blessings of this season and this wonderful day. We're so grateful for these gifts and these beautiful children bringing up gifts from the kids. Thank you so much. So we just take a moment to turn to gratitude, appreciating these gifts, appreciating these givers. It's such a joy to give to what we love, and it's such a joy to receive. And now we send these gifts forth as we transform lives that transform the world. Thank you. So it is. Amen. There you go, darling. Good job. All right, we have a special, little special presentation today. Is a kind of a momentous occasion, a little sadness in it, but our beloved Natasha Fleet, who's been here forever, probably her whole life actually, been really one of the anchors of our sound team, this is her last Sunday. And Natasha's moving up to Richmond. Natasha, come on down here and let us appreciate you, sweetheart. But I know you're going to rock it wherever you go. So Natasha, I think you're kind of a genius actually on the sound system and the lighting and everything else. She knows how to work all the machinery back there. But I understand you've been training some others. You look absolutely beautiful today, Natasha, by the way. Anyway, this is for you. Let's stand together and give Natasha our Christ blessing, shall we? We love you so much here. You've made an immense difference here. I hope you know that. I hope you know you always have a home here and a family here. Come back anytime. Natasha Fleet, together. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you. We love you. We love you. We love you. We love you. Now's the time in our service when we welcome those who are new to Unity Renaissance. If you're here today for the first, second, or third time, we invite you to raise your hand nice and high, holding up the appropriate number of fingers, 1, 2, or 3. We have a gift for you. Anyone here for the first, second, or third time? Well, welcome over there on the side. We're so glad you're here today. We have someone else here, second timer on the middle aisle. Great. So if you're here for the first time, there's a little card inside. There's a little card inside that bag. Fill it out, take it into the bookstore, and you can get a free CD, a copy of a previous service. Your second time here, you get 2 CDs. One is positive, uplifting music from Empower Music and Arts. The other is Sacred Unity Recordings. And on your third time here, you receive a copy of the Daily Word. So we look forward to seeing you again and again. And thanks so much for joining us today.
Our outreach group is gathering up all these wonderful stuffed animals to be given to our youngest AIDS patients, and they'll be distributed. So please bring in your new animals. I guess maybe if they're a stuffed something or other that's not an animal, bring that in too. And they will be distributed. So thank you very, very much. We will give them all the love they need, and that will go on out.
And also we have our angel tree now set up in the narthex, so you're invited to take one of the ornaments or angels from there. There's a couple of different ways to give there. You may, I believe it's the angels. If you take off of there, you'll see a little list of toys or clothing that a family in need is requesting for the holidays. So you take that, go off and fill it, bring back the items unwrapped in the narthex, and then we distribute it to those families during the holidays. Or you can take one of the little ornaments for a gift card and supply a gift card of whatever amount you would like for gas, food, restaurants, whatever it might be. And those we use throughout the year, mostly for congregants here at Unity Renaissance who have certain needs during the year. So thank you so much for your generosity on all of that.
Wonderful. And please join us on Friday evening for our film, the Higher Consciousness films. And hey, come on, you know.
It's all good.
It's all good, yes. And there's so much love coming here that, you know, it's all good, and it's okay. But anyway, the Grinch Who Stole Christmas is going to be playing on Friday evening, 7 p.m. Come on down and have popcorn, water, and then, not only that, a discussion about Dr. Seuss's story.
Yeah, there's a lot of great symbolism in there, as I'm sure you all know who've seen it before. Richard has an announcement for us for this coming Wednesday night.
Thank you, Paula. So last year we started a wonderful tradition here at Unity Renaissance that's honoring those loved ones who have passed on into the next experience of life. And we have it on the first Wednesday of December. And it's a very touching and moving ceremony where you get to remember any one of your loved ones you would like to. We're going to start with those who passed in 2019 and honor them, and then go back as far as anyone would like to. So if there's someone been on your heart, someone that's dear to you, that's just been, you've been feeling, you can bring in a picture or send me a picture. We put them up there, we honor them, and you have a chance to introduce that loved one and light a candle for them and tell us all about it. So, and Michael and I created this service for you all to just be able to honor those whom you love who are no longer here. It does include pets if you would like to too. So that's my email. You can't really see the R, but it's rmcdc@gmail.com. Or you can also just send your pictures to Alicia or Paula, and they'll get them to me. So hope to see you this Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Thanks.
And I also want to say, if you don't have a photo or if you feel shy about getting up to speak about the person that has left or the pet, I would really encourage you to just come to the service anyway. Because, you know, we rush through the holidays and these feelings are very real. And so it can just be lovely just to set aside some time for remembering them. So I hope to see you here Wednesday night. We have an announcement now from the wonderful Tony Porton, one of our board treasurers. Come on down, Tony.
Okay, I'm supposed to be in the center. Am I in the center? Hello, everyone. How you doing today? Quick announcement. December 13th. Put it on your calendar. We're going to have dinner here. And this year, we're changing it up a little bit. Historically, it's been everybody signs up for a table. Now just sign up for a dish. Bring a dish, and we're going to share. Alicia Flores over here has graciously taken on the acknowledgement of all the dietary needs we're going to need to focus on. Yeah. She put the sign-up sheets on the wall, so please make sure you stop by there and visit those so that we can start to get a head count and plan accordingly, that kind of stuff, and then also make sure we accommodate everyone's dietary needs. Then, as you just heard, Richard's also going to be tickling the ivories, so we'll be having some entertainment. I think Family Feud's probably coming back by popular demand, so we'll have some fun, and I like the idea of it being a community amalgamation, so thank you.
That'll be great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Couple other quick Christmas-related announcements. One, as I mentioned at the beginning of the service, thanks for the decorating of the tree and the putting out of the garlands, etc. That was Denise Beckwith, Floyd Beckwith, and Kim May. So I want to thank all of you for that. And then today, they'll be completing that. So it's an opportunity for really looking for some additional help after the service to put ornaments on the tree. Denise will direct you in that, but wonderful time to get in the spirit of the season and have cookies and refreshments to go along with that, right? Thank you so much, Denise. Next Sunday, something very special is going to happen here. And I'm not going to tell you what, but you have to be here. To experience it. So I just really, really want to encourage you to be with us next Sunday. There you go. Both services, either service, is going to be wonderful. And then 2 weeks from today is our Christmas cantata. So just to give you a heads up, on that Sunday we will have only one service at 11 o'clock. How many services are we going to have in 2 weeks? At what time? Good. It's December the 15th. Thank you, Marcia. December the 15th, Christmas cantata. It's going to be absolutely stunning. Really looking forward to that. So plan to join us at 11, 2 weeks from today. And with that, let's stand and welcome in our children.
We are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking, we are walking in the light of God. walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God.
While I visit with the kids. Hello. Gosh, you guys are looking so awesome today. What did you learn today? Who would like to share? Come on up.
Well, the affirmation in our class is that I forgot.
Got some coaches down here. Something about life. Okay, life. Okay.
I love life.
I love life.
Everyone is equal, and we're all gifts from God.
Everyone is equal, and we're all gifts from God. Did you have something? Just stretch it. Yeah, good. That feels good. Did you have something you want to share? Come on up. Okay, excuse me. Could you step up?
Life is a present from God.
Life is a present from God. Lovely.
It doesn't matter what gender you are, how you wear things, what you dress like. You are always a present from God.
We're all gifts from God.
We're all gifts from God. Wonderful, wonderful lesson today. Anybody else down here? Hi. Are you speaking?
Everybody is an angel from God.
Angel from God. There's a pattern here. Yes.
God's always in us, and He never leaves, and He always helps us.
God is always in us, always helping us, never leaves us. Did you have something, sweetheart? No, you're good? You're good? Good. Anybody over here? Yes, come on up.
Today we did our regular Heart Talk Sunday, and we also talked about whatever you put into the universe, you get back.
Y'all hear that? Whatever you put into the universe is what you get back. Thank you very much, Isabel. Anybody else? We good? I'd like to invite my family up here. And I want you to see these lovely souls. We got one more little one up here. This is my little granddaughter Vivian, who's 2, a little over 2, and Riley, her mom, and my son Ben. And this is my daughter Emily and her husband Rich, expecting their baby in May. And we are celebrating. So let's stand together now and join hands for our prayer for protection, followed by our peace song. Together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all